yeah, just remember what it is you want to achieve, and if you have a gig and it doesn't go very well, or you get a bad review, you just got to pick yourself up and go again.
Always say yes to opportunities that come your way.
It's a good vibe. Music's a good vibe. You need it.
Music, the ever-constant evolution and the heel of humanity's link to emotion and expression. Through time, hundreds upon thousands have been inspired and inspirations across the known world. Through passion in lyrics or the beat of rhythmic tones, people have always been connected and united by music. As brother to the drama queen of visuals, one which complements the other, everything is enhanced. Every scene, movement, character, object, genre, audience is defined. Meaning, sound is king. But what does this mean for young up-and-coming bands or solo artists in this modern-day society? All across the world, the music industry is easily regarded as one of the most competitive and difficult creative industries to break into. However, the question we are asking is, what is it these days people are looking for? So, I decided to go down to London to meet up with a local up-and-coming band to find out, and along the way gain the opinions of some industry professionals on what they believe people are looking out for in this modern day. After arriving in Euston and getting off the train, I met up with the band Nome&TheNatives, who are currently recording their new EP over at Miloco Studios. I decided this would be the good opportunity to find out a little bit more about them and what they think about the music industry today, and what it's like for them getting to where they are now.
What inspired me to become a musician?
When I was about 10 years old, and my uncle played drums.
It's a good question.
Forced my parents to buy me my first guitar at about 7 years old.
Seeing a live DVD of Green Day playing in Milton Keynes.
I've always loved music. From very young, I would listen to a big range of music. My family into music. Buddy Holly was my first love.
I was just completely blown away by that.
And then all really stemmed from there. It was just love songwriting, love music. So.
And I got to have a go behind his drum kit, and that's where it all began really.
As a 4 or 5 year old, and from that I've gone through various bands and discovered various genres, and it's just always been there.
The best thing about pursuing this career in the music industry, for me, is that I get to meet lots of other people that are on the same wavelength as me, and I get to be creative.
The freedom of it, you're not stuck at a desk 9 to 5 in front of a computer, being hassled by a boss.
It's fun, but it's about enjoying your work and enjoying what you do. It is a job at the end of the day, as anyone has a job, but everyone wants to enjoy their job.
I think it's just the satisfaction you get out of it.
It's about opportunities, and you're always looking for the next opportunity. And
it's your own. It's all up to you, how far you get, where you, what you do, and it's really awesome to be, being inspired by so many other people, so many other musicians, and trying to inspire other people as well.
I think between actually finding band members of the same ilk.
I think it definitely meeting the right people with similar ambition and the same drive.
The biggest challenge, or the most unexpected challenge for me, was having to learn quite a lot of patience.
Motivating myself consistently.
An awful long time to find 3 or 4 other people that all share the same kind of end goal that you do.
I came to London when I was 18 and I was like, I'm going to be famous, it's overnight, it's all going to happen. But it's a longer process.
And the time it takes, when I was 15, 16 I thought I was ready. and now 20, 21. I'm kind of going, oh, okay, it's 4 or 5 years now, but actually that time is necessary, and you have to develop, and you have to allow yourself room to develop.
You get a lot of things that come along and try and knock you down, but you got to pull yourself up again.
You have to gain experience, you have to learn a lot of hard lessons, you need to take in a lot of advice, some of it can be hard to take, and that makes you a better musician, and then you get to step up to the next level. It's not as quick as just sort of, I'm in the right place, so all the stuff's going to be handed to me on a plate. It's much more about working through things, and that takes some time, and you have to develop patience, which is something that I'm glad that I got the chance to do, but I'm still working on it.
The most valuable thing that I've learned so far is definitely like meeting the right people. If you meet the right people, they're going to take you further. So yeah, definitely putting yourself in the right environment, surround yourself with the right people has been it's priceless.
Yeah, networking is a big one. You've got to let people know who you are, why you are here, and what you want. And at first it feels pushy, but there's situations that we've got ourselves into as a band that would not have come about if we hadn't have been upfront about it.
That I've learned in my journey so far is to always say yes to opportunities that come your way, because you just don't know where they'll lead to. A lot of the things that I would have written off and thought was not a great opportunity for me have turned out to be the most valuable connections and networking opportunities that I've had. And then other things which you think this is too good to be true, it often is too good to be true. So yeah, don't say no.
I'd just say don't give up, really. You do plenty of things along the way to whatever you want to do in any walk that will knock you down, but you've got to get up more times than you get knocked down. That's a bit of a cliche.
Enjoy it and be yourself. If you're going to enjoy it, you're gonna get the best out of you. I know when I go on stage, if I'm thinking too much about it, then I really do not give the best. Whereas if I just literally go out there and do it, it flows and it's fine. So just enjoying it.
For young musicians who are trying to start their career, I say there's a couple of things you've got to do. First thing is you've got to move to where it's happening. If that's in England, then London's amazing, but Manchester, Sheffield, there's loads of other cities that have a great happening music scene, and you need to get to where it's all happening.
Future musicians, definitely don't wait for the opportunity to come to you.
The second thing is you have to be quite disciplined. You have to be able to accept that you're not going to make money straight away from music, and that you're going to have to work really hard, probably doing 2 or 3 jobs at once so that you can afford to do your music.
Yeah, just remember what it is you want to achieve, and if you have a gig and it doesn't go very well, or you get a bad review, you just got to pick yourself up and go again.
Go and seek that opportunity out. Like if you're busy with stuff and you feel like you haven't got time, make time.
And the third thing is to never judge a book by its cover. So when you maybe meet someone for the first time, and it may not be apparent that they could be anybody you need to stay in touch with, they could actually turn into someone who really helps you out and opens the door for you. So just be really open-minded, talk to everyone about all the music you're doing, tell them absolutely everything you're doing, find good people that you bounce off creatively and that give you a positive mindset, and just don't give up, just keep trying and trying and trying, and if doors get shut, somewhere else the door is being opened, so just keep looking.
Final question, as a band that didn't quite go through university, would you say it's more down in London, sort of who you know as opposed to what you know, or
I think it's both. Yeah, it's definitely both. Combination of who you know, what you know, and what you can do with it. And yeah, I mean personally, I'm not a fan of the university route or sort of music college route, but that's not to say it's not right. It is, you'll know if it's right for you. We've got people in the band that've done it. We've got people that haven't. I personally have learned the most by just getting stuck in, getting my hands dirty and doing it. And I really would recommend that, because you learn so much in practice that you have to learn it. There's no exam, you're just there in it. So I think that for me personally was the advice I'd give.
It's definitely good to try and network with as many people as you can, and that doesn't have to be something really serious like going to a networking conference. It can be as simple as going to lots of gigs talking to bands afterwards, seeing how they got that gig, seeing where they come from, seeing what kind of plans they have for the future, and just absorbing all the time. But yeah, it's about 50% skill and then 50% personality and who you are and how confident you are and what you, like when you perform on stage, what a performance you give. You know, you can be the most talented pianist in the world, but if you sit there and play like this, no one's going to watch you, no one's going to be interested. So you have to think about that as well. And again, the more friends you have in the same business as you, then the more allies you have and the bigger team you have that's going to get you to where you need to be.
Great. Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
After talking with Nome&TheNatives and getting a free wristband in the process, I had the opportunity to speak with some industry professionals and got the chance to hear their opinions with similar questions.
What I would want most from a solo artist would be, first of all, absolute ambition. That's kind of two words, but that's, to me, that's kind of one thing. Secondly is commitment, you know, to both to themselves and to me, who's giving them time.
Character, creativity, and dedication.
Honesty, passion, and individuality.
And why is that?
Because I think that if you want to succeed, you have to be original.
And thirdly would be being realistic, you know, and all of those above even the talent, because talent is based on what I might think somebody else has talent, somebody else might not agree. You know what I mean? It's relative, basically.
So you need character. You have to be very creative, and although a lot of things seem to sound the same, I still believe that if you have a unique sound, you have more of the chance to get out of the rut. And dedication, I think the music business in general is a lot of hard work.
Well, I went to university to study music technology, which, to be perfectly honest, was a total waste of time.
Is it better to go to university, or is it better to stick? Having done both in my life, what has been better?
Some people need to go to university and go through that channel. But for me, it was the other way around.
With regards to what I'm doing now, I learned more in my first month of making tea in a studio about how records are made than I did like 4 years in a classroom or a studio on campus. But seeing that, if I had tried to get a job in a studio when I was 18, when I went to university, things might have worked out very differently, because you have to listen, you've got to have the right attitudes to take the route that I took into studios, because you start at the bottom.
I started in the music industry at a time when being a rock musician, as in basically going out there and just gigging and gigging and gigging, was still the thing. At the same time, the whole sort of dance music, drum and bass thing was really kicking off, and the idea of being a star, by learning how to do things on a computer was also growing as well. So from my perspective, I would say it's good to go and study. I don't know if university necessarily it has to be university, it could be college, whatever. It's good to study, it's good to know theory, it's good to know all that stuff. Do you have to go and do that at uni? I don't know.
I went first, I did what I wanted to do, music, and I went there and tried to make it. And then I went to university and studied music. I did the other one. But depends on people. Some people, prefer something easy. Not easy, but more square in a way. And other people are curious and want to explore.
It's a positive thing. The negative thing for me is the idea of trying to institutionalize ideas of how to become a successful musician.
Yeah, you really need to have a lot of patience and the right attitude, because you work long hours for very, very little money, and it can take you a long time before you even get into the studio. So when I was 18, whether I would have had that attitude or not, who knows, but when I got my first job in the studio when I was in my early 20s, I was definitely mature enough to have that type of attitude. So, you know, it all depends on the person.
I think the first advice I would say is that to make sure of what they want to present to the audience and to the outside world.
Patience is very important. You've got to have the right attitudes. You've got to have a desire for it. You know.
The advice that I would give somebody trying to stepping out of school and starting out basically would be, don't look over your shoulder.
Because whatever they do, they are still being viewed as a product.
You can't do what guys like me do without being committed, basically, because you know you spend a lot of time in the studio.
Know what it is that you're doing, you know, and then again, I'm gonna completely flip it on the other side.
So they better be on top of their own product and know what they're gonna project to people.
So you're gonna walk away from your friends and your family for a while. But if you're really serious about it, you're passionate about it, then my best advice to you is just to do it.
Which is that, you know, be aware of your environment, you know, be culturally conscious of what's going on, but at the same time, don't let that stop you from knowing what you're doing. Secondly, don't be let down by what the industry may think of you, because it is just simply an industry, and industry surrounds art. So, you know, you could be an innovator, and remember that, and don't be let down.